Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. If you're in the chat, let me know how you're doing. We had a big weekend. We have a lot to talk about, whether it's basketball, MLB, golf, football. I mean, we have just lots to get to. So hopefully you guys had a good weekend. If you're near my area, summer is officially here. That's exactly what I was about to say, Guru. If you're near me or this area in the East Coast, it is hot outside. So yes, the summer is finally here. It took a long time. It took till the end of June to get here, but it's here. It is hot outside. So hopefully you guys are staying cool. It's 105. Yeah, dude. It's like I think yesterday here it was like with the heat index 104. I mean, it's hot. But yeah, so big weekend. We're gonna talk about everything. We've got obviously NBA to discuss, but PGA, we finally, praise the Lord, we hit an outright in PGA. It's been a minute. It has been a minute. It's been all the way. I think the last time I hit, and when I say hit an outright, we have live bet people like a few weeks ago. That would have been at the Canadian Open. We bet Ryan Fox going to Sunday. He was 3-1 and he won. There was a couple other times that we had done live bets and they had won. But if I'm saying pre-tournament outright, I think we have to go all the way back to February. Now I didn't bet every single tournament during that span, but it was probably 8 or 9, 10 tournaments we had taken outrights on, and we were just not hitting anything. So thank you to Keegan Bradley. We finally hit an outright at the Travelers. We wussed out. We took him without Scotty, but still, I'm never going to complain about a 30-1 winner. So shout out to Keegan. Thank you. Amazing clutch. Tommy Fleetwood just continues to. He just can't win. He cannot win on the PGA. I don't know. I said to the people I was watching with yesterday, I was like, if he doesn't win this, I don't know if he'll ever win a PGA Tour event. I honestly don't know. I mean, he had that in the bag. He was up to, going to the last couple holes. There is like no excuse that Tommy Fleetwood did not win that golf tournament. So I feel bad for him because I like Tommy Fleetwood. I think he's a likable guy. But I'm not complaining considering we had the 30-1 on Keegan Bradley. These NBA players are not stretching anymore. Yeah, we're gonna talk. Let's get in. NBA. It's crazy. I don't have games to look at anymore. It's over. We're just looking at next year's finals odds. But yeah, so I don't even know where to really start with this. First and foremost, let's start with before we even get to the game. And you guys probably saw I put a video about this out earlier. Before we even get to Game 7, we've got this breaking news. Shams bomb. Kevin Durant traded to the Rockets. And we knew this was going to happen. We knew he was going to get traded. He put out his list of 3 teams: Heat, Spurs, Rockets, whatever. And you guys remember, this was like 2 weeks ago. I went on this huge rant about Kevin Durant. He can't have his cake and eat it too. He says that he hasn't won a title, since leaving Golden State because of his teammates, but he's the one that's picked what team he's played for every single year. I don't understand him. So we knew he was going to get traded. We didn't know when. It happens yesterday. He goes to the Houston Rockets, and look, it's one thing if the Miami Heat traded for Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant has been linked to the Miami Heat for years and years. Literal years. It's always been a rumor that Kevin Durant, would go to Miami, Pat Riley, that whole thing. So it's one thing if the Heat trade for Kevin Durant. The Heat are not in the mix to win anything as it currently stands. And that's not taking anything away from the Miami Heat. But as it currently stands, They were a play-in team last year. They're really not in the mix post Jimmy Butler. They're not in the title picture. I mean, look at the odds. They're on the screen right here. The Miami Heat are 220-1 to win the finals next year. They're not in the title picture. So it's one thing if they trade for Kevin Durant. It's another thing for the Houston Rockets to trade for Kevin Durant. I mean, if I was a Rockets fan, like, what are we doing here? Did the Rockets, they play in the same conference. You just watched what happened to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns were a young, up-and-coming team who was even further ahead than what the Rockets are. The Suns went to the NBA Finals. They were on the brink of winning a championship. And they blew everything up. There was stuff going on with the coach and Ayton and all that stuff, whatever. But they blew everything up. They get Kevin Durant. They haven't even been good ever since then. I mean, like, just a one-way ticket to dismantling a title window the Phoenix Suns took by getting Kevin Durant. And now the Houston Rockets are doing the same thing, a young, up-and-coming team. They just had a fantastic season, Houston. They did it by drafting and developing their team. Yes, they made a trade for, Fred VanVleet for a veteran presence, but the majority of their team was drafted and developed there, and they made the playoffs last year. They had a great season, and they're going to blow it up to go get Kevin Durant. And I just don't understand it. Kevin Durant is not – people are like he's a great three-point shooter. He was a fantastic three-point shooter last year. Kevin Durant's stats were not bad last year. I'm not saying Kevin Durant is a bad basketball player. He is not going to be a role player for your team. He's not. It's Kevin Durant. Do you think that Kevin Durant has a small enough ego to where he's going to come into a young Houston Rockets team and he's going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to stand in the corner and shoot threes? He's not going to do that. So I'll go out and say right now, I'll put my name behind it. I'm not a faceless profile on Twitter. Ben Hostler, I will say the Houston Rockets will not be winning the NBA title next year. They're not going to. And when they don't win the title, I do not want to hear Kevin Durant saying, oh, the fans don't like me, my team. I don't want to hear this sob story from Kevin Durant because and if anything, like we already talked about this when I ranted about this prior, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like, when people were like I feel like people used the Kevin Durant going to Golden State to try and discredit Steph Curry. And I mean, that got proven wrong after that because there's, of Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, one of them has won a title without the other. Actually, Steph Curry's won multiple titles without the other. So Steph Curry won titles before Kevin Durant and after Kevin Durant. So I don't even think that's a debate anymore. And again, I'm not taking anything away from Kevin Durant, the basketball player. He's a great basketball player. But when he goes on Twitter and argues with people that his legacy isn't tainted and that he lists off all these personal accolades when it comes to scoring, you're Kevin Durant. We hold you to a higher standard than that. You're not some, a couple-time all-star that maybe led the league in scoring. Dude, you're Kevin Durant. You're one of the greatest basketball players of all time. If you only won a title on Golden State, we're gonna hold that against you. And for him to blame his team when he picked his team every single spot he went to, it just really rubs me the wrong way. I'm over it. But I think this is a terrible trade for Houston. I don't care. I have no problem saying that. They're not going to win the title. I don't care that they're 9-1 to win the title. If you're betting Houston Rockets in June of this year to win the title next year, no. The Houston Rockets will not be winning the title next year. Not a good trade. I don't think it's a good trade. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But if you honestly think Kevin Durant's just going to sit around in the corner for a bunch of young kids and shoot threes all day, it's not going to happen. All right, so that happened before the game. Then we get into the game. And I don't even know where to start with this because I don't want to take anything away from the Thunder because with free agency really thin, are you signing Harden over Fred? I don't know. I think I'd rather have Fred. That would be an interesting. I haven't really thought about that, Guru. That would be interesting though. Like James Harden reuniting with the Rockets. Again, I don't think they would win with old ass James Harden. Again, another guy that's just not going to take a backseat to the younger players that are better. But it would be funny to see James Harden reunite in Houston. But I would probably take Fred. I feel like Fred is, if you just weigh out Fred VanVleet and James Harden, like Fred VanVleet fits the mold more of a veteran presence that is going to like mentor the younger players. I don't really know if I view James Harden in that light, and I don't know James Harden personally, so I could be totally off. But just from the outside looking in, I feel like Fred VanVleet is more of like a mentor type player than James Harden. So I would probably rather have Fred on that team, but I don't know. Maybe they would get James Harden. I have no idea. Yeah, CP. Yeah, just bring back Chris Paul. Get Westbrook. Just get the whole squad back together. As far as the Game 7 goes, like I don't want to discredit the Thunder because it's like I have like differing opinions on this because the Thunder were the best team all year. I'm not denying that. The Thunder were rightful champions in the sense that they were the best team. They're the best team on paper, and they were the best team all season. I don't think that's a hot take or anything. I think that's a factual statement. So I don't want to take anything away from them, but when you're a minus, like think back to this, right? Pre-NBA Finals, the Oklahoma City Thunder were minus 750, minus 800 to win the series. So when you're a minus 800 favorite and you get taken to 7 games and it's like a tied game, close game, and the best player on the other team gets injured and is out for the rest of the game, it's hard not to say that there's an asterisk there because there is, but I also don't think that's fair to the Thunder because the Thunder are the best team. It's not like it's reversed, right? Like if the Pacers were a huge underdog in this series and then they end up winning because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got hurt and missed Game 7, then you could say there's just an asterisk there, like maybe they got lucky. I don't really want to say that for the Thunder because it's a better team anyways, but I don't know. I mean, it's worthy of a conversation. What I hate is, you guys know I am a Halliburton fan. People can call him corny, overrated, whatever. You guys know I've always been a Halliburton fan since he came into the league, since he was on Sacramento. I'm a fan of him. So it sucks to see him get hurt in the biggest moment of his career, and there's just nothing you can do about it. I mean, he was trying to play through an injury, and it's a risk. He accepted that risk, and he got burned. So it sucks. It sucks to see that. But at the same time, I don't want to say like it sucks because it ruined I don't want to say it sucks because it affects how we view the Thunder's championship. It sucks because we got robbed of a classic Game 7. Like that was going to be an amazing game. You could just tell. It was low scoring. It was close. I think it was going to come down to the wire. I think it was going to be a very, very close game, and it was just going to be a classic Game 7 for a finals that honestly I think has been pretty good. I know there was a lot of talk about, no big market team in there. Like, what would the viewership be like? And when you think about it from the sense of like a casual fan watching, that was a huge moment for the NBA. It was a primetime Sunday night Game 7, and I don't know what the final viewership numbers were, but I know it was projected going into the game. It was projected that this was going to be the most watched NBA Finals game in quite some time. And that was a big opportunity for the NBA to capture these audiences that maybe were tuning in because it was Oklahoma City versus Indiana and there was no of these other big players. And I feel bad for all the people. Like, I feel bad for Halliburton and all of that definitely. But I feel bad for all the people that were watching the game, and we got robbed of a classic Game 7. Like I really think it was going to be that. To go back to your earlier comment, Dewan, about like these guys don't stretch. Like there's something going on. I mean, there's no way you can sit back and not think something's going on, because Achilles injuries used to be like when I was growing up. This was like an injury that like the older players that were past their prime and trying to still, squeeze out whatever juice they had left, they would pop their Achilles, and it would that's why it was viewed as a career ender, because it would be these older guys would pop their Achilles and then that would be their career. Even when it happened to Kobe, Kobe was old at the time that he, tore his Achilles. That's not the case anymore. These guys are 24 and 25 getting Achilles tears. And I don't know if there's data. I don't know if someone's done a study. I would be curious to see the data, because I don't have an explanation as to why 24, 25, 26-year-olds are tearing their Achilles all the time. I don't know. And it's not just even in basketball. It's in all sports. I don't know. It's definitely weird. It's an interesting conversation. The only thing I can think of, I don't know. I don't even know if I have a thought. I have no idea. But years ago, this was a career ender for guys because they were older. Now that's not the case. But there's just no guarantee that these guys are going to be the same. Even if they're only 24 years old and they tear their Achilles, there's no guarantee that they're going to come back the same, and it sucks. That was a great strategy, letting TJ go off for 10 minutes. Okay, Guru, we got to talk about this too. What in the actual hell? What was Rick Carlisle doing last night? Rick Carlisle is a great coach. I'm not trying to be that guy that's like, I'm sitting in my room with Pokemon cards behind me trying to tell Rick Carlisle what to do. I'm not trying to be that guy. But what are we doing here? I mean, he was acting like this was like it was the NBA Cup, or we were on like some primetime game in February. What was these rotations? It's Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Why is Pascal Siakam coming out of the basketball game? What are we doing? What was that? That shit actually made me mad, Guru. Hold on. I want to check this. Pascal Siakam, was he on the floor in the third quarter? I mean, what was going on with that? So, okay, it's 25-22 OKC at the end of the first. Indiana won the second quarter by 4. So it's a 1-point game going to halftime. And the Thunder, first of all, going into the game that the Thunder all postseason long have come out on fire in these third quarters. They've done this time and time again. And if we look at I want to look at the third quarter here. I want to see when Pascal Siakam checked out. Okay, Aaron Nesmith entered the game for Pascal Siakam at the 7-minute mark of the third quarter. And I don't think he re-entered. I don't think he came back in the game in the third quarter. No, he didn't. And then Tony Bradley is in. At the 4-minute mark in the third quarter, Tony Bradley enters the game for Miles Turner. Where is Pascal Siakam? He came out for almost 7 minutes in the third quarter. What are we doing? It is the last game of the season. Win or lose, the game is over. The season is over after this game. Why is Pascal Siakam coming out of the basketball game? Why is Tony Bradley playing in this basketball game? I don't understand this. I got so mad. I like walked away from my TV because the Thunder are just going on this run to start the third. Like, we came out of halftime. The Thunder punched the Pacers in the mouth coming out of halftime. It was 56-56. Miles Turner hit a three to tie it, 56-56. And then the Thunder, so Miles Turner hits a three to tie the game. The next possessions, Shea hits a three. McConnell, bad pass, turnover. Holmgren hits a three. So now they're up 6. Another TJ McConnell turnover. Jalen Williams hits a three. So we go quick 9-0 run. 56-56, 9-0 run from the Thunder. And the response to the 9-0 run from Rick Carlisle is to take Pascal Siakam out of the basketball game. How can this, like, what are we doing? Yeah, 16 minutes for Ben Shepherd, Guru. Great point. What is that? Why are these guys playing in Game 7? Why is Ben Shepherd getting 16 minutes? Why was Tony Bradley? He only played 5 minutes, but why? I don't understand why these guys are in the game. There's no excuse that Pascal Siakam doesn't play over 40 minutes in Game 7 of the NBA Finals when Tyrese Halliburton is out. I was like in shock. I was like sitting with him. I'm like, why is he out of the game? 9-0 run Thunder, response from Carlisle's, let's take Siakam out of the game. I didn't understand it. I did not understand it. I thought that was bad. I thought that was just bad from Carlisle. I'll just say it was bad. I don't know. But shout out to the Thunder. We'll see if they get another next year. Looking at next year, I think this is a really, really interesting conversation right now, because when we think about the Eastern Conference next year, the Celtics, if the Celtics don't have Jason Tatum for the entire season, I'm pushing them out of the equation. Gone. I don't want to hear Celtics next year. I don't think they have a chance without Jason Tatum. I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know if we've got confirmation on this Halliburton thing, but I mean, you could see his Achilles. Like, you could see it in the slow-mo. So I'm going to say we take the Pacers out of the equation. So that takes these two, like, let's cross them out. The East is as wide open as we have seen it since LeBron. The Eastern Conference in 2025, 2026 is as wide open as we have seen it since LeBron James entered the league. The Knicks have not proved anything. The Cavs have not proved anything. The Celtics are going to be missing their best player. The Pacers are going to be missing their best player. The Magic have not proved anything. The Sixers have not proved anything. The Pistons are a very young team. Like, I mean, the Eastern Conference next year is quite literally anybody's game. And I'm going to tell you right now, with that being said, do Knicks run it back or get Giannis? I think that's an interesting conversation, Guru, because my thoughts around this have changed. If you're the Cavs or the Knicks, you guys need to make moves. Now, the Knicks tried to make their move by firing Tom Thibodeau. That will remain to be seen whether that was a good move or not. The Cavs need to make a move. I'm not saying they need to blow their team up, but they need to improve their team because they're the betting favorite to win the Eastern Conference. This is their best chance to go to the finals since before LeBron. This is their chance. They need you absolutely have to capitalize if you're an Eastern Conference team next year. And I'm going to tell you right now, my favorite team, and this may be a hot take, you may disagree. This is my favorite team in the East next year. Now, they haven't proven anything to me either. The Knicks have had more success in the playoffs in recent years than the Magic, but the Magic are my favorite team right now. And I think it's telling they're only 13-1 to win the title. I think that's very, very telling. I love the Magic's team construct next year. If they have a healthy Jalen Suggs, they have Paolo Banchero, they have Franz Wagner, they have Desmond Bane coming in. I like this team a lot. And if you ask me to pick right now the finals next year, I would say Thunder Magic. I think the Nuggets are the scariest non-OKC team in the West. I wish they had I wish you could bet on I wish someone had exact finals matchups already, because I honestly would take Thunder Magic just for fun, just because we're talking about it on stream. And then we could go back and look next year. I want to see maybe if DraftKings has it. I don't know if somebody would post that so soon though. I doubt it. We also have the NBA draft coming up on Wednesday. So I'm going to do another run of my NBA mock draft tomorrow. So that'll be up. We'll talk about that on stream tomorrow. You guys remember I did one a few weeks ago, so I'll update it with any changes, and we'll talk about that on stream tomorrow or Wednesday, either one. And then, obviously we have the draft to talk about, but I like the Magic next year a lot. As for the baseball streets, I didn't take any baseball bets tonight yet. I'll be getting to that after the stream. Golf this week. We'll talk golf on Wednesday before Steve comes on. But this is Rocket Mortgage. I think it's just actually called the Rocket Classic. It used to be the Rocket Mortgage Classic. I think it's just the Rocket Classic now. But anyways, this is a fun tournament. Scotty's not playing, so we don't have to worry about taking a winner without market. This is just hilarious. Winner without Ben Griffin, Colin Morikawa, Keegan Bradley, Patrick Cantlay. No, we won't be betting that. But we will be taking some outrights. I have two really long odds plays I like, and then I'm going to dive into the top guys tomorrow night, and we'll talk about it on stream Wednesday. But if you guys just want first clicks, Cam Davis I like at 90-1, and I like Aldrich Potgieter here at 120-1. So those are my first two picks for golf this week, and we'll talk about that further on Wednesday. Also, like I said, NFL first run of my NFL rankings will be out later this weekend before I head to Chicago on Sunday. And my divisional previews, all 8 of them, those will be out. If you guys want some reading this week, those will be out this week as well. We'll talk about those on stream later this week, but those will be coming. Lots coming this week. Lots of NFL content coming soon. But yeah, overall, thank you guys for tuning in today. Stay tuned to my Twitter, to the Rolling Insights Twitter. If you need access and you have any questions, go to rollinginsights.com, scroll down to the bottom with those social links, hop in our Discord. We're going to work on growing that this summer so that once NFL season rolls around, we can have some fun in there. I can maybe do some bonus, live shows in the Discord. You guys remember I used to do those in the past on Saturday nights. So hop in that Discord. I'll be in there. Good luck if you're betting tonight, DFS, fantasy sports, all that. And I'll see everybody tomorrow at 11 a.m.